What's good? Your favorite rappers time, your favorite movie stars time, your favorite moguls time, your favorite movie stars time once again. And I'm saying that because that means actors and actresses, both equally skilled. You know the deal. It's Czar, all rights reserved. CommenterNation, greatest nation since United Nations. Stand up. We in the building. Let's get it popping. Let's get this started. Yo, I spoke with Mrs. Williams, Dedrick D Williams' mother, and I came to an understanding, and it let me know, if anything, that I was on the right track discerning character. Again, distractions. We don't let distractions stop us. Again, and if they want to be a distraction, ask them, where were they at June 2018? Where were they at? Where were they at July 2018? Where were they at August 2018? Where were they at September 2018? Where were they at November 2018? Where were you at October to September? Where were you at in 2018 after this happened? Where were you the earlier part of January? When it got warm out, it's like everyone felt good. It was like, let me get up here and say, nah. We've been on this grind. Spoke to one of the suspects' mothers, just as I told you I would. Didn't go live. It was a private conversation. Again, now we got questions for authorities again. Why would you not tell a mother what's going on with their son? Shout out to her. According to her, here on YouTube, on my channel, was the first time she got any answers about what was happening to her son. Think about that. You got a child that doesn't come home. He has kids. They're asking where daddy's at. Doesn't come home to do anything. You hear he's locked up. They won't even tell you what they're locked up for months. Yet they're rushing stuff to press, rushing the news out just rushing it to the stations to put it everywhere. But they wouldn't tell you face to face what was happening. Oh no, it gets deeper. Not only that, they come to the door, and when you're home, you don't know what's happening. They're trying to search your house without any information given to you, telling you to stay calm, sit down. Not only that, getting smart with you, cracking jokes with you, being funny with you, disrespecting you in the midst of doing what it is they say they're doing. Now, is that professional? Is that the way that law enforcement should behave? It gets worse. They're going through everything. The first bit of money they find, they attribute it to a robbery. Now, without any type of evidence, how would I stand there and say this is his money? We don't even have information or video from the banks confirming that the money that was taken was the money Tentacion had in his bag. So this man couldn't have made no money in his life being a tattoo artist. I know a lot of people that would pay for tattoos. Matter of fact, he was doing superstar tattoos, and he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything. He's not aware of it. He has no clue what's going on. Really? That makes no sense to me. I'm a little baffled by this. Listen to me again. You have a child. You hear they're arrested. They don't give you no information directly on what's happening, but they bogard you, bum rush your house, looking through, turning everything up. Then they end up taking you down to the station to see them, make you sit for hours on end and still tell you nothing in the end. Do you know how frustrated a parent would get? Oh, let it happen to their child. They would be raising all sorts of hell. But they don't care. You do that to this woman. And then you want to publicize her son's face everywhere without even giving her any information, letting her see it on the news first, when you bogarted her and rushed the house. Why would they behave this way? You know TheCzarr has a viewpoint. But before we get to that, I want you guys to imagine yourself in this situation. That's why we put respect on all the mothers and all affiliates' names, because we don't know all they went through in this situation. Now, back to what I'm saying. The reason behind why I do this, were you guys allegedly looking for a reason and a spot and a place to pin something on this man in excess to what he was actually being investigated for? Is that true? Because Michael Boatwright, obviously, the time period in which you found the things you had against Michael Boatwright, when you found all this stuff you had against Michael Boatwright, you didn't come out with it right away. You only found it midway into the case after he lost his insanity plea. Then you use that as a means to tell him he's related to it 100%, because you found everything. You didn't find nothing, but you happen to find everything in his grandmother's car. That's very interesting. At the same time, you're asking for DNA. How didn't you already get DNA? What would be the need for DNA midway through a case? I'm still baffled because I found no case in which midway DNA was needed unless they were looking at some type of assault case and they needed to basically plead someone out and say this person wasn't related to the case that went down. That's the only time. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the only time. And if you look at it that way, doesn't it really make you think? What was the whole persistence behind them pinning these young men and you couldn't even tell their family what's going on? That's one scenario. There's another scenario where someone lost a parent around that same year. I wonder how. Can someone show me any information on how that parent's deceased and what happened? Back to what I'm talking about. Is there any sense being made in the situation? Who's able to make sense of anything that's going on right now when it comes to that behavior and authority? Is that appropriate? Or is that just, let me ask this. You could do all of that to her. How come you didn't do that to the Jocelyn Flores case? And there's a reason I'm talking about it. Why didn't you do that to the Jocelyn Flores case? Was it because someone wanted it to go bye-bye? Why wouldn't you do that? Especially when you figured out they didn't arrive at a certain place that's right down the street, except hours later. Is that sensible? Can someone make sense of that for me? You know, I'm a little jilted right now because we sit here and authority wants all the respect. But the way you treated his mother was like she was a criminal. What if someone just treated your mother that way? They just seen her, snatched her stuff and pushed her, told her your son's a dirty pig. Keep it moving. You are the proud parent of a dirty pig. Keep it moving. Would you respect that? But anyone, remember, is innocent until proven guilty. But you treated her like a criminal and her in the means of arresting him on what evidence? Because one of the things you put in the evidence was the money. How'd you check it by eye just because you randomly found money and said, this is it? This is it. Because a lot of those videos of him showing money, boasting, it was prior to this incident. The dates show so. So how is he completely guilty without anything held? And why'd you treat his mother like that? Why'd you treat her like that? Very interesting. Why would someone, I get someone did a crime. They're innocent until proven guilty. Matter of fact, you're not even still alleging this person as the shooter. But you're going to treat their mother with the most disrespect you can do. Were you hunting for evidence and you couldn't find it? Because you didn't show up at these people's house till later on. Even if you showed at his house right away, you didn't show up at these other suspects' house. You immediately knew they were away. How'd you know that? What intel did you get to do that? You see how questions stack up? So whether or not something's fake, I want to ask, why is authority treating people who they suspect of a crime, their family, so indecent? Aren't you supposed to stay objective? I know I do use the hard-hitting objective perspective, but you're supposed to stay objective. Because unless you have damning evidence that you can present in court and say, this is absolutely what this person did, are you even in a position to treat someone that way? How about every time we hear a cop shot an unarmed person, we treat you with the most disrespect? We just disrespect you up front. We don't even wait for any evidence. We don't wait for law to settle it. We just disrespect you because you were accused of this. You see where I'm going here? That's why I'm telling you this case is monumental. And if Florida allows this to happen, it's going to change law how you know it forever. if you're ever accused of something in that state, they're going to bum rush you, they're going to disrespect you, and they're going to treat you like the criminal they think you are. Doesn't matter if you're innocent. And they're not even going to apologize after, because they're going to say, oh, we were justified because we thought this was happening. You're going to let this happen? Florida, stand up. Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for what it's worth. Because some of you are sitting there hugging your child like never my child. It could be. Act now for others in a situation so your child does not end up being treated the same way that his mother was treated, in the sense that they think a crime was committed and they treat him as such. Is that the extent of racism, or is that normal? That's just normal, right? Nothing racist about it at all, right? Wrong. All rights reserved.